What's going on, guys? We're back in the shop. We got some better lighting in here because we got some LED lights, so now you guys can actually see what I'm doing. We're going to be mounting my 500 carbs back up to the 500 sled. These are 600 carb bodies, but we rejetted them to fit in the 500. The 500 carb bodies, we cracked one of the brass fittings and then we couldn't get it back out, and looking at the car bodies online, holy crap, I wasn't about to swallow that much money. So I used my part sled and I took the 600 car bodies off and we rejetted them to fit the 500. Like I said, I mounted them up to the 500 with the 600 jets in them because I really wanted to see if they would work, and it would run and it would rev up, it would idle, but it would spit, sputter, and backfire when you let off the throttle from coming off of full throttle. So we're gonna be mounting these babies back up, and yeah, should be good. This sled I got in an amazing deal from a guy who was trying to clear out some of his stuff. I bought this sled for $235 and I got it running the same day. Steal of a lifetime there, I'll tell you that. We will start by taking off this air box. Everything's already taken apart. I just gotta put these carbs back in. So let's hop to it. Alright, so I know this is kind of looking like a hot mess to some of you snowmobile guys right now, but you know, this thing needs work. It needs love, it needs everything. We had to redo the whole fuel line system and all that crap. So after we did all that, then we finally got it running good on the 600 carbs. My throttle cables are about to go. This expansion chamber right here, can't really see where the camera is right now. This is out of the 600 sled because, God, I wasn't about to pay $200 for a rusted out 500 expansion chamber. They were the same size, so 600 expansion chambers on here now. Let's start out by, oh Jesus Christ. So we have our oil lines, oil injectors. Alright. Let me go get the carbs and we will start. Right in here. So, best bet first, let me hook up these oil lines here. See, these are the oil injector lines. We got them plugged off. This thing's been sitting for around a year. We're gonna put these babies in there. What I like to do is I like to put the oil lines on first, get them all secured, and then, oh, are you kidding me? There we go. Put these oil lines on first and then put the carbs on, because ain't no way someone's gonna fit their hand between the carb and the block. Oh my God, that is in there. Let me go get a pliers. God, that took... See, so we were just plugging these up with some nails. The main fuel line to the carbs is just plugged up with a golf tee. That's what I like to use for the block offs. I use golf tees when I'm not working on something for a while. But of course, they like to get stuck. So that's that. We're still getting pumped, clean fuel coming out. So we have clean fuel. The fuel used to be like just straight brown. So get our carbs, put our oil injector lines on. Don't forget the little clamp. Gonna have to use pliers for that too. And the main fuel line, which I am going to put the carbs up in and and see if I can snake the main fuel line down through. Show you guys what I just did here. So right there, oil injector, carbs aren't even mounted up yet. Then main fuel line, and then push them up, tighten them, and then we'll get into our throttle linkage. So you're going to want to make sure that your carbs are pushed all the way up in the boots before you tighten them. And then with a regular screwdriver, tighten up the clamps on your carbs. Don't go too crazy, you'll break the clamp. Tighten this. It's rubber, it's already sealed. You could run this thing without even these clamps if you wanted to. You don't gotta go crazy on the clamps, it's just so the carbs don't fall off. With these clamps too, you want to keep them in a spot. When you tighten them, keep them in a spot that you can access them. Because if you let the clamp twist around the boot, you will not be able to loosen it again. Then we're going to come down here. There's this little fuel line sticking out. I snaked the main fuel line through this little green fuel line to our inlet. I like this sled. I've been very pleased with my purchase of $235. The guy was really nice, and the red 600 that's behind me, I don't know if you guys can see it in the camera. You'll probably see it in the video eventually. My dad, I brought home this black 500, and my dad's like, hey, you said that he's got another 600 there, right? And I'm like, yeah. He says, how much you want for it? So I asked him. The guy said same price that you paid. I'm like, shit. So I went back there and I bought another one. So that's why I have two sleds. The reason I bought this black 500 first was because it was nicer and it had a lot less issues. That 600, I have no clue what's wrong with it. And I'm not about to mess with it because I like this one better. The black compared to red, I like the black way better. So, we have all our fuel line and oil injectors hooked up. Next, we're gonna get into our throttle cables, throttle and choke. If you wanna see which one it is, pull the throttle, you'll be able to tell. Pull choke one moves. So, yep, all good. Yeah, these throttle cables have been through a little bit, so they're not really the best, but there's a spring on the carbs. I'm not worried about dying wide open. So right here, throttle cable is going to go in, and that little loop on the bottom. So let's do that one. Throttle cable's right here. So with the slides all the way down, my carb linkage is too short. I don't know if we have wide open right there. That's wide open. All right, so this little nut here, I'm gonna have to back this out a little bit so I can get a full idle. I don't know how low I'm gonna have to put the idle on these carbs, so I want as much play in the linkage as I can get. So I'm gonna take my 10mm wrench, loosen up. Okay, that's really tight. Rusty. That's gonna be enough. Loosen up the lower nut, put the throttle cable into the mount, bring the nut up, tighten it, bring your idle back up, because if you got your idle closed all the way, your sled ain't gonna run. We're using pliers. Yeah, you snowmobile guys can yell at me. I don't care. This ain't no spaceship. It's a snowmobile. Make sure you got wide open throttle. And I don't. I don't have wide open. That's tough. Just like a little bit though. Performance, we're good. You guys can tune it. You saw how I did it. You guys could do your own. So what next? What next? I think next is to run it.